Me and Glenn have been talking a lot about bridging the gap
Hmm.
of religion and red pill, because this is just something that's going on like crazy right now. We got the tradcons doing their shit, and then we got the red pillars doing their shit, and there's a giant war going on, and we're just always trying to talk about bridging the gap. Michael, do you think that there's such thing as doing something like that?
I
Is
don't think
there
it
any way
matters.
to bridge a gap like that?
For the history, through the history of like traditional conservatism. And by the way, when we say that, we mean like just go back to the 1950s, Judeo-Christian conservative values that have existed in this country. And for the most part, let's exclude like racism, because that was a traditional value,
Mhm.
or a lack of desegregation. Let's just say something like that. When you go back to those times, there was always a group of people who were preaching fire and brimstone, Old Testament Christ, and then there were a bunch of dudes putting their dicks in women. Both of those things were always happening.
That's true.
And so this idea that we have to, so those guys would be considered red pill back then, but there was no red pill until 2001, legitimately there was no red pill because there was no movie The Matrix until then. So when you go back at that time and you look at it from that standpoint, there's always been the puritanical men and then the men who want to put their penises in women, and they've both been on the same side politically. So I don't think this divide ever is gonna go away.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with him.
Yeah, but the thing is, it comes down to like the descriptive and the prescriptive thing. So, like red pill, we always say we're just giving descriptions. We're not telling what you should do. It's just what is. When it comes to saying what should, like, and none of us are a perfect human. None of us are Spocks, or none of us are robots. We all end up speaking at some point in a praxeol or not praxeol in prescription,
Of
because
course, even
you're just human. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like, I mean, you do a mentoring course. Obviously, you're telling
Yeah.
people the best way to do certain
Yeah.
things. So it turns out being prescriptive. Uh, what happens when we find out religion, Christianity aligns with a lot of the same prescriptions, or like whenever you look at some scripture and you realize, oh, we read this wrong. It actually, if you read it this way, it actually aligns really well with biology, or what nature is actually, kind of intending. And I always say, like, all God is to me is it's parallel lines. Like, I learned this from a movie. Like, God's just it's perfection, and I think everybody's shooting for perfection. Everybody, I mean, even you as a person, you want to be the best man that you can be.
Sure.
And we're all striving for that, and that's all these Christians. They think they're the best. They think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, but I mean, but like a Christian man who chooses to like, I'm trying to think, whatever, like disown his daughter for being a lesbian, or an Islamic man who chooses to stone his daughter for getting raped.
Yeah.
They believe they're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
but like,
that's not part of our religion. That's
Yeah,
just
see,
cultural interpretation in
yeah, for sure.
Pakistan.
See, and that's the problem. So, the problem is whenever you have these talks with people, like, they take the Bible too literal. They take certain sections
Sure.
too strongly.
but they all believe, like, you understand. Benito Mussolini woke up every morning thinking he was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pol Pot woke up this morning, he's like, I'm doing the best thing I can for the Cambodian people.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's what everyone thinks they're the good guy. No one thinks they're the bad guy. No one, not even the bad guy thinks they're the bad guy. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I just don't know, as far as the religious interpretation, or everybody thinking that what was the original question?
Religion.
How to bridge the gap between
Yeah,
the
yeah.
red
How
pill
to
and
bridge
the
the
religious
gap
community.
between
I
the
don't think
two.
there is a bridge the
Yeah.
gap, to be honest. They do their thing, we do our thing. It's really,
It's always going to be enemies.
because you have to understand the red pill community is more of the there's hedonistic, no limitations on anything. They're very proud of, like, being promiscuous as men. Which I understand why you would be, because it is hard as a man.
It's just we're both right leaning.
I think-
Like, if we're all voting on the right side, why can't we come
I think-
together?
I
But
think
the issue is that religious people, we don't see the need
Sure.
for that.
Yeah.
To glorify that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of my friends who are much more religious than me. I know they do stuff, and I know they're going to take those secrets to their grave. They're not going to talk about it.
I think the red pill community is different from the red pill. Like, I don't think Rolo or me or anyone else specifically. I mean, I do know Myron says you should fuck 50 women before you get married.
That's the black pill. I'll just consider the other community black pillars.
Right.
Like,
So-
we're red pill.
so-
Black pill's over there.
So I don't think that is there's the specific prescription to have sex with a lot of women. What's happened though is the community, like you said before, there's a difference between Christ, the Christians, and the church. There's people in the red pill who glorify sex with lots of women. And it's funny because when you think of the guys who are doing that the most, like, say, like Sneeko and Andrew Tate, they're now becoming religious, and they're like,
Exactly.
they're not in favor of, openly, they're not in favor of that type of behavior. For me, it's very confusing for a lot of people with me, because they see so many attractive women in my stuff. I'm not telling people to go sleep with a bunch of women. What I'm telling you is to be the most attractive version that you can. The most attractive version you can at your job, the most attractive version you can with your wife. That's what I'm telling people to do, so that you have options and you actually have leverage in your life situation. So I don't know. The point is the traditional conservative values. There's a lot of men out there who are hurt, and those men who are hurt are like, I'm supposed to have a baby with this woman that I don't trust, and I don't feel like doing that, and I'd rather get money. And it seems a lot more fun to do that whole thing, and social media kind of plays into that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where this whole divide comes from. I don't think they're enemies, though. I think they go from one and then they become the other. I think you have a kid and then you want something different.
It's just scary because like the election coming up, and everything like that. Like I'm all about. I'm sure y'all both know this. I'm just all about all men coming together. Like even like with the tweet that I said, like imagine how we would move mountains if all the men in this sphere came together. We're all purpose driven. We're all men that want to change. Fucking guys that hit the gym. Actually strong men in every aspect you can imagine. But we all split up and we all just don't work together at all. It's just, can that gap be bridged? Are we always going to just be completely separated and never come together and work together? Do you ever see us all coming together and actually, having to work together?
Yeah, I don't see all people coming together.
Well, not all people, but just the men of the manosphere.
Even all men in the manosphere. No, I think that was an idea that had legs and it was appealing to a lot of people, and now it's just as appealing to trash that same idea. I think that's where we got into now. That's where you get the Destinies and the Abbas and Preaches and Sneekos turning on the red pill and all that kind of stuff. I don't blame them because I don't really care. Like you saying, if you want to, I would be more offended if we're talking shit about the Texas Longhorns than I would about you talking shit about the Manosphere. I don't care. I don't get a Manosphere union card. I don't pay Manosphere dues every week. I don't care that much if you want to trash the Manosphere. If you want to come after me, just remember, when you're coming after me, I'm not going to take it personally because you're coming after Lita Cosmides, David Buss, Margot Wilson. You're coming after Steven Pinker, Gadsat. You're coming after the professors. You're coming after the evolutionary psychologists that I quote in my teaching. That's who you're coming after. You want to come after me personally, that's fine. That's on you. But the other part, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're staying on shoulders of giants.
Yeah,
you can't argue against that. No, guys, this was such a fucking fire show, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Unless y'all have a good subject or question that y'all could think of.
I think there were more super chats. Were there not?
No, I didn't. I don't think so.
Okay, the last one was the guy who said that I was making red herring things, who didn't actually say.
Yeah, but then he
what
said,
the red herrings were.
Yeah, he didn't say another one, or he might have just said.
Good, man.
No, man.
Thanks for coming on here. Really appreciate it, Michael.
Yeah, dude.
Really. Please let us know when you're back in town.
Yeah, for sure. I knew I was going to be in town, and I was like, "Oh, let me schedule this."
Dude, you have to. Oh, wait, one more thing. I just got. No, I can't.
No, go ahead. No.
Okay, yeah, no. Okay.
Hey y'all, Sergio here. I just want to mention I've created a completely free guide that shows you exactly how I went from having low confidence and being painfully awkward around women to easily meeting and dating numerous high quality desirable women in real life without the use of any dating apps or social media. So if you're struggling to get out there, if you have approach anxiety or don't know what to say or how to interact with women to make them want you and are sick of using dating apps with low value girls that hundreds of other guys have been chatting with, click the link in the description below to grab your free guide right now. And if you want private mentorship with me personally to help guide you every step of the way in this process, check out my mentorship program in the description too. I would be happy to help you reach your dating goals and overcome any obstacle you may face. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. I hope to see you soon. Peace out.